setting up SharePoint for most. We've covered scan to folder and scan to email, which are two of the more basic features that are installed with most, and they're, I think I said earlier, those screens are installed by default. And you may have noticed that so far I haven't seen any SharePoint screens in my Most Designer as far as collection. And the reason is every plugin that we install for most comes with its own pre-designed screen. So I've installed the SharePoint plugin to the server, as well as the Most for SharePoint plugin, but I still have to import the screen to the Most Designer. And the reason we do that is to help avoid cluttering the Most screens with unused design. So if I look under Most SharePoint, we'll have a shortcut here that says to install the Most screen. I'm going to select yes to import them, just to refresh them. And if I select the demo user, we can see the SharePoint collection is now available. And if I use the arrow button here, I can actually assign to this demo account so we can start using it. Save those changes. And if we log into Most Desktop again, I now have the SharePoint collection available. And here we can see we have three screens or three tabs designed on the left side. We have the SharePoint scanning screen, the SharePoint status, and then we have the SharePoint print. So we'll start with the scan screen. And similar to the scan to folder, we'll see that we can browse the directory structure or libraries available in SharePoint. If I bring up the SharePoint site side by side, we'll see that the folders available on Most correspond to the libraries available on the side of SharePoint, or that might be an easier view. So we have contract, cover pages, demo, documents, and you'll see the library matched identically. If I browse into the demo folder, and do that on the SharePoint site as well, we can see that the folder structures match what we're seeing on Most. And what I'm showing you with Most Desktop is actually a live connection to SharePoint. At this moment, I've configured it with no caching of anything. So every time we browse into it, it's making a request from Most Desktop, or would be the MFP. That request is sent to the Most server, and then sent on to the SharePoint site, where it retrieves the information and passes it back down to the machine to be displayed. So as I'm browsing these folders, the other thing that's happening is on the right side, we'll notice that the attributes change. Depending on the library that I'm browsing in SharePoint, different attributes will be available. Now let's see if we find a different one here. That one has no attributes. Okay, there we go. So we can see here under the health insurance folder, we have patient name, telephone number, social security, and doctor's name, while under the demo folder, we have document number, amount, and date, which corresponds to what we see in the SharePoint site as well. So in this case, every time we browse to a different folder, a different list of attributes are available. And some different document management systems have a unique way of showing the attributes. For SharePoint, it's based on the folder structure you're browsing. But the different methods are usually all for the same goal, is to try and index the document properly within the backend system. So hopefully what this screen helps demonstrate is how different objects on the screen can interact a little bit with each other. Basically, the first object on the left is controlling what's displayed in the second object on the right. And depending on the object you're using, they can actually have kind of a chain reaction where maybe there's a drop-down on the screen that controls a second drop-down, and that second drop-down, based on what you pick, will determine what you choose in a third drop-down, and so on. The objects can sometimes be linked together in certain ways. And some of that is configured through, like I mentioned earlier, a DLL that can utilize the most SDK. So here I'm going to scan into, let's see, let's go to subfolder C maybe. I'll browse to that folder in most as well. And you'll notice the attributes on the side here are listed in a way that the number of attributes can vary. So here I had 3 attributes, but if you recall, under the health insurance folder, I had 4. And the way that the object is designed is it's a list of attributes. You'll notice if there were more than, I think, 7 entries that would fit here, I'd be able to scroll through them all. And if I wanted to populate any of them, I simply press on the button to the right of the name, and I can enter the value I'd like to specify. And I've just entered a few different random numbers and dates. And if we scan to it, click Finish. So hopefully everything is configured properly. The server should upload that file to the SharePoint site in a few moments. Okay, so status is changed to successful, which is a good sign. Now, if we refresh the SharePoint site, I think there's a refresh here somewhere. We can see the SharePoint scan 1 that I've just submitted is now available on the site. And it has the document number, amount, date that I specified through the most screen. And that's the scanning to a document management system type of workflow. The last screen with SharePoint is the SharePoint print screen, which actually allows us to pull documents back down from the SharePoint site. So it's bi-directional. Not only can we submit documents to SharePoint, but we can browse the SharePoint site and preview or print a document directly to the machine. So if I go and browse for that same document that I just uploaded, so we can see here the SharePoint scan that I've submitted. I should be able to preview it here. And this is the image that I've uploaded. Should match exactly what I saw at the scan preview screen when I scanned the document. And the other option is to print it. Since I'm using most desktop, printing isn't really an option at the moment. But what it would do is essentially print that document back to the device that you're standing at.